Hi, I'm James, and in today's video we are taking a look at this, which is the brand new Dell Inspiron 16 5620. This video guide also basically applies for the 5625 model as well, which is very similar but features AMD components inside. So to start off with, we are using a Phillips size O screwdriver bit, and we are going to go around the base of the laptop, removing all the screws except these two corner screws to begin with. This is a fairly standard construction for a modern Dell, and so we just need this screwdriver and a small pry tool, and with those we should be able to do pretty much everything we need. We have just posted up a review of this laptop a couple of days ago, which I believe is the first review of this machine online. So do check that out. I will put a card up in the top corner if you want to have a look at that. It's an interesting machine, being the first that we've got our hands on with the Intel 12th generation Core i5-1235U in it, and one that we are going to be testing in further videos, so do take a look on the channel or hit subscribe to see those as they come on. Particularly we're going to be comparing it to some of the recent AMD processors and Core 11th gen chips. So with that done, we are then going to do these two back corner screws. The reason we leave these for last is that they are actually retained, so when you undo them they don't come out of the back, and once they click like that we can stop. And what you can see is they have lifted the corner of the chassis here. So once we get to this point, we can then take our pry tool, and what we're going to do is just begin working that pry tool in along the back here to start releasing So by going in and angling that in, we can start releasing the clips from the base, and then working down this side. And then the other. And with all the clips released, we're then going to just pull lightly on the base. This screw appears to still be slightly stuck, so we're just going to give that a twist. There is, I believe, a clip here in the centre as well, so we just need to pull the base up to release that, and the panel will then lift off. Once inside, our first job is going to be to disconnect the battery. This is really good practice, even if you are sure the machine is off. It just, particularly on machines like this where when you open the lid you will power it on, so having the battery disconnected just ensures that you aren't accidentally working on the machine with it electrically live. So we're going to just press the pry tool on the edges of the connector here, and then gently unplug that. To replace the battery, first of all we want to undo the 4 screws that hold it into the chassis. With that done, a 5th here as there is one in the centre. We can then just lift up the battery and lift it out from the chassis. Now if you are fitting a new battery, what you're going to want to do is, the new battery comes without this cable, so what we want to do is just slide down this retention clip. We can then unthread the connector between the battery and the main board. And then when we got our new battery, it would be a simple case of put this back into place, slide up this little retention clip, thread the cable back through that chicane, and then slotting it at the bottom first, reposition the battery, and screw it back down. If the DC jack has been damaged up here, then getting that out involves undoing this hinge. So we are going to remove the 3 screws that hold the hinge in position. We then need to take our pry tool and get this in under here to lift the hinge open. With that done, it's then just a case of peeling back this sticker over the connector, slide out the DC jack connector, peel back this small piece of tape here, and we can lift the DC jack out. Often you find like the little inside of this connector gets broken if the cable is wrenched, say if it's tripped over while the laptop is on charge, and then if you're fitting your replacement you simply press this back into place and then slot the connector into the main board and press down the 2 stickers. We then close back up the hinge and refit the 3 screws. If we're looking to clean out the heatsink, then it is very simple to just remove the fan to access the front edge of the heatsink. With these 2 screws removed, the fan can be lifted up and out of the way, and this gives you access to the front edge of the heatsink so you can clean any dust from there. If you need to replace the fan, then it is a simple task of pulling the 2 edges of the little connector and removing the fan like so. If you want to repaste the heatsink, then you have the 4 screws here, which we're going to undo on the diagonals. And with that done, we can then lift the heatsink clear. We're going to have to replace this pad which is pulled from these. And then we can clean up the paste on the heatsink. It's interesting that Dell have actually used a proper thermal paste here and not just a little pad for the processor. So we're going to clean that up. So having cleaned up both the processor and the heatsink, we are then going to just apply a blob of thermal paste to each die. And then refit the heatsink, lining it up, and then again screwing it down on the diagonals. Press that thermal paste across the CPU die. You can, if you prefer, spread it all across the die to ensure coverage, but in this case pressing it down, because these are fairly small dice, should do that adequately for us. We can then reposition the fan, making sure to connect it. I cannot tell you how many times I have cleaned out the heatsink on a laptop only to reassemble it and realise the fan isn't plugged in, and refit the 2 screws. With our work finished, all that's left to do now is to reconnect our battery by pushing this connector back into the slot. And then, taking our base, we are going to press this down, first of all at the front. Then we are going to find that point in the middle where it clips down there. We're then going to press along the edges, but not too close to those retained screws, and across the back. With that done, we are then going to screw down the retained screws in the back corners. Applying a little bit of pressure here can help just engage some of the clips as you do so. And then all that's left to do is refit the rest of the screws to the base, and we are done. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please give it a like. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos as we post them in the future. And any questions, please do just ask us in the comments below. Thanks for watching.